Hi, developers and speculators. Greetings. So today a little introduction to LangGraph, how I'm using it for trading and building systems which are helping me to take particular decisions, gain profit and avoid losses. First, few words about LangGraph and utilize its capacities. When you create a LangGraph, so you create different agents which are going to pull different resources and do different things. If you are familiar with LangChain, so it's slightly different because you are basically creating node in a graph. In comparison, when in LangChain you just create links of the particular chain, and the graph could be much more complicated, just simple starting point, node, and then ending point. And I'm gonna be showing that later on, but for now it is what it is. And important part is every node could go to LLM, a model, and then double check what's going on there, and then see in the end how to use that information. Another important thing is it could work in parallel. So many agents are working at the same time, talking to LLM model. Also, you could set it up in the way that different agents are talking to different models. So, for example, one model is better for quantitative analysis, another one is good for some other things, and so on and so forth. Sometimes it is possible even to ask a node to create a code and run this code and then get the information which code did produce. So in order to make our hands dirty, I'll show you a few examples and coding examples here, how I'm using it. So for example, if we go to Capital platform, and it takes a second to pull all available resources. So you can see here, it is slightly different between crypto platform and, well, other asset platform. And here you see we've got much shorter periods in order to detect anomalies in volatility or price. You see here as 5 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, and so on and so forth. For some reason, 1 minute is here, but it's supposed to be here. I'll check it later. But now, if we are talking about capital, because prices of shares are moving much slower percentage wise, so there is no point to really monitor it to the second. 5 minutes is more than enough, and sometimes an hour, so we've got plenty of time in order to take a decision. So, and hence here we've got different time scales. So for example, like 5 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 1 day. So, and here you could sort it like 21% in 1 day. Interesting to have a look what kind of is a U-blocks or whatever. So let's say Dr. Martens also gave us 13% in 1 day. So what about here? 7%. All right. Now, getting back to LangGraph, right? So let's see what we can find here. So let's say I know nothing about U-blocks, so I'd like to take a quick analysis about this particular thing. So I got here, and then here I will just generate an analysis. So in order to see the results, so here we are getting update, and you can see here the analysis is in progress. So another job is picking this up and starting processing this particular asset. As you can see here, this is how we've taken maybe 30 seconds or so. So now what we've got about UBXN, so private equity, Advent International, whatever. If you are too lazy like I am to read this whole thing, so you can just get straight to the overall market sentiment is positive. Yeah, well, obviously if it risen that much. Let's just out of interest try another asset, for example. Yeah, because I'm not satisfied with this report, it's off short. So let's say what we've got else here. Market, U-blocks. Oh, Kavana is fine, isn't it? It's a used car dealer. So again, when we get here and just ask to create analysis, so see how we go. So you can see another report is started. So when it's ready, it's ready. Later, I am planning to add those reports right to the pop-up window where we start the report, but for now it's not necessary really, so it's not hard to click here and have a look what kind of news about this asset. Also, if other people are requesting other assets, so it's possible to see their request here in a stream and just see what people are looking for. Let's see what we've got here now. Right, okay, so yeah, I'm more satisfied with this report here. So you can see we've got a table, and the table is just about institutional activity, highly liquid, wherever inside the activity you see here. Okay, if you like to read this all, if you're in a hurry to make a bet on this particular asset, so you just read the bottom line, and it says balanced mix of institutional buying and selling, positive market sentiment, and so on and so forth. Like, I'm not sure how long this positive market sentiment will continue. For now, it is quite possible because it all-time highs and so on and so forth. But you know, in the end of the day, this is just an AI, helps you to gather more information quicker, like in seconds, instead of just scrolling all those endless websites and so on and so forth. Yeah, also, I think I have to add another RSI and those things I was talking previous time. Now, let's go to the code and see how it looks like on the bonnet. So here, all we've got is we've got our NewsCoordinator, which is deciding what is going to do with this particular asset. As you can see here, it has ticket overview. What that means is it goes to the internet and just fetches the overall information about this particular asset. Not news, but just Wikipedia articles or I don't know, stuff like that. Here you see news fetcher tool. It has different URLs. Like it's got a news fetcher, right? Sorry. What we've got here is the CoinGecko coins. That's for crypto, Wikipedia for stocks and commodities and so on. Wikipedia summary as well for commodities. So basically what it does is it's just pulling that information out of the internet and then summarizes it through the model. The model gives us just, not us, but this main coordinator, overall information, what the asset is. And now it knows that, then it fetches a latest news like 72 hours or so. Then another node is analyzing all that. So we'll look what's going on there. So here we get articles if we've got any. Then if we don't, then just do nothing with it. Otherwise, we just calculate particular scores and stuff like that, and then append to scores. Summarizer is quite interesting here to have a look. So what we've got here is, so we got our articles, we got our sentiment scores, and we've got our overview. Now we get that all. We are generating summary for all above. Here you can see the way it works. So when we generate summary here, then we create a prompt, right? And by that prompt we add all previous blocks. So we've got our like one block, sentiment block, content of the news block, and then all that goes into the LLM, and then LLM decides how to put it back to us. What else? What was interesting here? Yeah, and the saver. Well, saver is the simple thing which is saving just to the database for us in order to see the news on the website. So, long story short, this is quite a primitive graph, to be honest, because it's got only a few nodes and not complicated structure. What I'm planning to do in the next step, I'm going to develop multi-branch graph for more complicated analysis. Mainly, what's going to be there is analysis along with different sources of information. Also, a few mathematical formulas that apply to candles, and the most important one is it's going to pull the information about the deposit and the positions opened for that particular asset. And this multi-branch land graph is going to analyze risk, for that particular asset with open positions. And it's going to suggest what should we do. Should we close? Should we set stop loss? Should we take profit, hedge, whatever? And that system is going to be much more complicated because like I am using it for my trading and I really need it, and we see how it goes. So for now, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you find it useful, and I hope I see you again.